Hello and welcome to this short demonstration video for the tool that we just launched, the MEEX tool, Manufacturing Energy and Emissions Explorer. My name is Ali Hassan Begi. I'm the CEO and Research Director at Global Efficiency Intelligence. We are a consulting firm based in the US. We do work on industrial decarbonization across different industries and across different countries and regions. We are excited to launch this MEEX tool. So why this tool? Uh, Currently, the tool covers US manufacturing, energy, and emissions data. And in the next version, we are aiming to add more countries. Uh, Probably most of you know in the US at the national level, the manufacturing energy use data, they are available from EIA. They have the manufacturing energy consumption survey and they publish that every 4 years. The latest was in 2022, used 2022 data. So we have used those and some of the data from there, and we are showing it visually. And those are the energy use data, and we calculated the energy-related CO2 emissions and show it in different charts. But then we go one or two levels actually deeper. At the state level, such manufacturing energy use data are basically not available. And we have used some credible resources. For example, from NREL, they had done a study where they estimated the manufacturing energy use data at the county level, and we aggregated at the state level. But those data they were for 2014. So one thing we did, we kind of from 2014, we updated those up to 2022 based on certain method that we applied. But also for some of the key sectors like steel, cement, aluminum, where we had more reliable physical basis, energy intensity, and production, we kind of refined those sectors estimates as well. So we went beyond the original source and improved the data quality, especially for some sectors. So we moved the data or estimated for 2022 based on the 2014 data that NREL had, and use various resources to also improve and refine the quality for some of the sectors. And then we have the estimated manufacturing energy use for many different sectors for all 50 states. And then from there also we went to one level deeper for each sector. We do systems level analysis for energy use. I think this level of deeper insight into energy use and emissions at the sector level and systems level could help different stakeholders, industry, academia, government, in their work, whether it's on energy efficiency, or decarbonization efforts. So I want to show you that's kind of the background and why we did this, and more about the methodology and some of the terminologies you can find in the tool as well. This is a web-based tool. You can interact with it fairly easily, and here I'm going to show you quickly. So once you open the tool, the website, you have to go to Manufacturing Energy Explorer, and this is the home page. You can see on the right side we have a panel that has three different sections. One is US level charts, the other one is state level charts, and then sector level charts. We have hidden many of the charts so you don't get overwhelmed once you open the homepage. But once you select a chart, then on the left side, you will basically see the chart and the title. All the data that are shown, there are annual energy use or annual energy related CO2 emissions, depending on the chart you select. And all the data shown are for the year 2022, which is the latest year for which we have the US data, the national data. So you will start clicking on basically tree map energy or tree map CO2, and each chart has a kind of a tab name and then the chart title. For example, tree map energy by sector shows the annual energy used by manufacturing subsector in the US in trillion BTU per year. Since this first version of the tool focuses on US. We have used the units that are common in the US, like the trillion BTU. But we know globally the metric units are used. So when we add other countries, we're going to use the metric units for those. But these are the units commonly used in the US. And this graph shows for the US manufacturing, the annual energy use for different subsectors. You can hover over each of these boxes and it shows more information, not only the total in terms of trillion BTU per year, but also the share, the percentage of that sector from total manufacturing energy use, in this case for the US. We have some notes here which are useful. You can also pay attention to those. And then if you go next to it, click on CO2, it will basically show the same thing, but this would be annual energy-related CO2 emissions by manufacturing subsector in the US, million tons of CO2 per year. So to see more charts, you go on more US level charts in the panel, you click, and it opens, as you can see, many different charts. And each chart shows different set of data. For almost all the charts, we have the energy charts, and next to it, we have the CO2 charts. The energy are mostly on the left side here, and then the CO2 on the right side. For most charts, that's how it works. So stack bar charts shows again for different sectors in the US. We are still in the US level charts for all US manufacturing, different subsectors, but this time shows the fuel and electricity separately. You can see the contribution of fuel versus electricity in terms of the energy used, but click on the stack bar chart, sector CO2 ranking here, you get the CO2 fuel-related CO2 emissions and electricity-related CO2 emissions for different subsectors that are listed. So the subsector names are basically based on the Manufacturing Energy Consumption Survey, MEEX. And in some cases also we have, if you go to the definition of subsectors under about, you will see the definitions, and also you will see their classification code in terms of North American Industrial Classification System, or NAICS codes. You can go, we have heat pump energy, state energy, and you will see here different states, the heat map. I do a lot of work on heat pump. Heat map, and you see the heat map of US with different states, and this shows manufacturing energy use across different US states. And if you go hover over, it shows the total trillion BTU per year used of manufacturing energy use in that state. And then also it shows the percentage in terms of the share of that states from total US manufacturing energy use or emissions, depending on which figure you are. Also, there is a slide here that as you hover over each state, it will show the number. You can see, like if you go to Texas, or you can just go on this sliding scale and just go up and down. It will highlight some of the sectors that are kind of within that range. So that's another good functionality. Stack bar chart. This one shows for different states. A little busy here because we have many states, but shows the fuel versus electricity use in manufacturing in that state. So that's another useful set of information. And the CO2 shows fuel-related versus electricity-related emissions in manufacturing in each of these states. They're ranked. We have another heat map that shows the highest energy consuming manufacturing sector in each state, and they're color coded. Like this blue is like petroleum refining and coal mining. You can see in many of these sectors, mostly it's petroleum refining actually. I mean, the classification says coal mining, but a lot of it is petroleum refining. And we have chemical, like red, these states. And when you hover over, it shows the amount in terms of total energy used trillion BTU per year for that sector in that state. And if you go to heat map, top sector by state CO2, same story, but this is for highest energy related CO2 emitting manufacturing sector in each state. And again, you hover over, it will tell you the million metric ton per year CO2 emissions on that top manufacturing sector in each state. There are ring charts for energy and CO2 that basically, again, in a different kind of format, tells you exactly the top 15 energy consuming states, I mean, manufacturing energy consuming states, Texas, Louisiana, California, Indiana, Ohio, etc. And same for CO2. And we have another bar chart that shows the electricity share of total manufacturing energy use by sector in the US. So some of the lighter sectors like electronics, apparel, etc., they have larger share of electricity consumption from total energy use. But then heavy sectors, as you expect, like petroleum, chemical, paper, cement, the share of electricity is much smaller from total energy use in those sectors. So these were all for the US level charts. And some of these you find in the MEEX that are published by EIA, and we have visualized it. And of course, CO2, we have calculated it and we are showing it. But then when you go to a state level charts, these are the data that you don't basically find in other places easily. For most states, honestly, you don't find it. We have estimated it based on the NREL study and then further adjustments we have made. So to see a state level chart, you see here, show the state level charts. You click on it, it will open. First, you need to select your state. So just select the state like California. I used to live in California. So once you select the state, it shows the first is the tree map, energy by sector. So it shows a distribution of manufacturing energy use by sector in California, which is the state we selected. Petroleum refining, coal, non-metallic mineral, etc., chemicals. And you can, go to different charts, or you can just go change your state, like go to Arizona. And in Arizona, you can see non-metallic mineral is a big one, shows 51.1 trillion BTU per year, etc. You can go to tree map CO2. It will show you the data in terms of the emissions, energy-related CO2 emissions from that sector per year in 2022 in Arizona. All the CO2 emissions are energy-related CO2 emissions. Some sectors, for example, cement and chemical and others, they do have so-called process-related CO2 emissions. Those are not included in these charts. So only energy-related CO2 emissions. And also non-CO2 GHG emissions are not included in this tool, MEEX tool. So only energy-related CO2 emissions. You can go to the stack bar charts for Arizona, for example, shows for different sectors, what's the contribution of fuel use versus electricity into total energy use of that sector in Arizona or any state you select. And you can go to the stack bar CO2, it shows the contribution. So fuel versus electricity into the total CO2 emissions of different sectors in that state. Like we can change, like from Arizona, we go to any other state, we go to Illinois, and you can see it kind of adjust. So fairly useful information for sectors, for different states, for energy and CO2. And then from there, you can go one level deeper, what we call sector level charts. And sector level charts go for each sector, dive deeper into the energy systems, like, boilers versus process heating, process cooling. So you click on show sector level charts here on the right-hand side panel. And then it opens a selection drop-down menu. First, you select the state. Also, you can select US and it will show systems level energy use for different sector at the US level, which you can get it in the manufacturing energy consumption survey table 5.2, 5.4. They give this data for US only, and we have visualized it. But based on that and other adjustment, we have estimated now for different states and sectors, these system level energy use. So I hope it's clear. So first you select your state. Again, let's go with Colorado this time. And then you have to select for that state which industry you want to do a deep dive. Let's say Colorado food industry. You can see next to the name of the industry sector, we have a number that is North American Industrial Classification System, or NEX code. As you know, each sector has a code, NEX code. This is based on North American classification system. Internationally, there are other systems which they are not applicable here. So we chose Colorado, food. You see two charts showed up. One is tree map, one is pie chart. And this shows in Colorado food sector manufacturing, sorry, we click on it. It shows manufacturing energy use by end use system for food sector in Colorado, 13 BTU per year for 2022. And what are those systems? Again, based on the EIA classification in manufacturing energy consumption survey, we have used that. So it shows like CHP, process heating, machine drives, motor systems, etc., conventional boilers, process cooling. So basically, we estimated, because these are not reported, we estimated different systems contribution to the food industry energy use in Colorado in 2022. You can also click on pie chart and it shows different visualization again, contribution of different systems to the food industry energy use in Colorado. You can go change, like from food, you go to any other sector like chemical, and you can see it changes now, shows the contribution of systems to the chemical industry energy use in Colorado. You can go to the state and change the state. So it's from Colorado to any other state you want, let's say Florida. So Florida chemical, you can see different numbers are shown. You can also select tree map, show it differently. So this is very quickly how you move through the tool, and also how different sections of the tool works. Just quickly, a little more detail. So going back all the way to the top US level charts, let's click on the tree map. So the tool has certain functionality. I will tell you some of the useful ones. For example, once you're in the US level charts, anywhere in the tool you are, you can click on the charts on the name or names of the sectors or a state, and it will go open, kind of move you one level deeper, open one level deeper charts. For example, here for the US, we have these sectors energy use. You can hover over and click on, for example, petroleum sector here. Then it will take you, jump into the sector level charts. It will select US automatically and then petroleum and gold product, and it will show you the deep dive system level energy use for that sector. If you go up and, for example, the stack bar charts, you see again different sectors like chemical. I can click on this and it will again take you, select US chemical, shows you the sector level charts in terms of energy systems level data for that sector. Same, for example, you go to heat map, you see the names of different states and informations are shown, and then you can see the hand is shown. You can click like California, you click, then it will go to the state level charts. It will automatically select California. So you can see the previous information is all kind of wiped. You go to the new selection. So we clicked on California, it will select California, and it starts showing you one level kind of deep dive about California. In this case, distribution, manufacturing, energy used by sector in California. Then you can click through different charts like CO2, stack bar charts, etc. So once you are in certain sections, you can click on the chart on the name of a sector or a name of a state, and it will take you one level deeper. For example, here we are in California, and we can hover over, not only see the information, but you can click, for example, food California, right? Click on it, and it will go automatically select California, select food sector, and it shows you the food sector system level energy use in California, as said, shown here. So that's a nice functionality that the tool has. Okay, I don't want to overwhelm you. I want to keep this also short and simple, just to introduce how you kind of walk through the tool and how to use some of its functionality. There are resources here. I mean, you go on the top right, about. Now, by the way, you can just click on either MEEX logo or home to go to the home page. go to About, you click, you see About the tool. Brief information about the tool is presented here. And then more information in terms of the methodologies under the methodology, click here and you'll see a brief description of the methodology and some of the data sources that we have used and some of the adjustments we have made. I think that will be useful. Manufacturing sector definitions are here. So I think most people in the US should be familiar, but you know what the food sector means, what is beverage and tobacco product, etc. Textile mills are different subsectors of textile and apparel. These are under NAICS code, North American Industrial Classification Systems. So this will help you. I think we have around 25 sectors covered. So this will be helpful in terms of sector definitions. There are sectors that they have a slight, oh, for some of the key sector like cement and lime sector and iron and steel and alumina and aluminum and non-ferrous metal except aluminum. Those are the subsectors of some of the main three-digit NAC sector. So the three-digit NAC sector, for example, is primary metal. But because iron and steel is important, aluminum is important, foundries are important, etc., we disaggregated some of the subsectors below this three-digit NAICS code. You can see we have a more detail. And those are shown in the tool, the results you can see in terms of the charts. And there's no like kind of double counting. If you select 331, you get the entire primary metal. But then if you want steel industry, you go and select 331110. If you want more alumina and aluminum production, you go select 3313. And that will show only that subset of the industry, primary metal industry, and all the energy CO2 related emissions. So that's something to keep in mind. For a few sectors, we have done that for which we were able, given all the previous work we have done, we had good quality data to be able to make good quality estimates regarding energy use, emissions for those deeper dive sectors. Disclaimer, copyright, and then questions and feedback. As you use the tool, if you have a question, feel free to reach out. If you have a feedback, certain features that we could add easily or certain things that are missing, if you catch a bug, we have heavily tested it, but if you find anything, please do reach out. You can send an email to get in touch with us. So basically that's it. I hope you find this demo useful. I hope you find the tool useful. We think it would be useful to different people across the stakeholders working on energy and environment and climate space. Feel free to reach out if you have questions. Otherwise, thank you and have a nice day.